Welcome to the 2015 Windcoast Custom Lures swim bait rigging and video catalog presentation featuring the River Darter swim bait series, presented to you by Al Winco and Howie Bubba Carl Thompson. Swim baits are very effective for both smallmouth and largemouth bass under a variety of water conditions, temperature, and clarity. They produce in both moving and still waters. I have created proven 3 and 4 color laminated swim baits in 4 sizes with dedicated various styles of weighted heads. Using the custom weighted hooks is paramount to your success. These swim baits have an attractive profile and, most important, realistic swimming tail action on the drop, even at the slowest of retrieves and fall. Each size has its individual characteristics and custom rigging with specific dedicated weighted hooks. All swim baits run true and straight on the retrieve without rollover that is maintained on the fall when rigged with the recommended weighted hooks. Enjoy the presentation and thank you for watching. First off, we're going to rig slotted 4.75 inch River Darter swim baits. These have the hook slots in them. I use 2 basic hooks for these. This is a swim bait head with a hitchhiker coil keeper, and this is a darter head with dual barbs and 3D eyes. Both feature Mustad Ultra Point hooks. Now, a little trick with these darter heads is to lay this bait alongside here, a little magic marker, and make a little dot where you want that hook to come out. Just a little dot like that. And you'll see why in a minute. In this center, now you can see that little black dot there. And I'm going to bring that hook point right out on that dot. There we have a swim bait rig on a darter head. This happens to be a 3/8 ounce. Next, we're going to do swim bait head. Using pressure, I turn the bait towards my body. This will automatically start to thread. Take your time with this. It will stay inside the plastic. Now here's where some people become confused with Texpose rigging. The length of that is better than 1/4 inch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this hook backward. Bring it out. Nope. Bring it out in the center. That's rigged text post. Now if I'm going to encounter weed beds or submerged wood, I'm going to needle stick the hook back into the swim bait, just the tip of it, just like that. That'll come through trees and weeds. That's the 4.75 inch rigging of the swim baits. Now we'll move on to the 3.75 inch slotted models. A favorite is a flutterhead with a Hitchhiker Coil Keeper, a 1/0 hook. Now these heads are narrower. May present a problem to some of you. What I suggest you do is take a razor blade and just cut a little bit off of this. These heads have a big taper to them. They taper out quickly, so now you have a lot more meat to thread that hitchhiker on. Center it. A little bit of pressure as we complete that first turn, turning the swim bait towards you. Again, we're going to rig this text post. Lay this inside, back. Weeds or wood, a little needle stick, not too much though. And there it is, with an 1/8 ounce flutterhead. This is a 1/4 ounce starter head with a 3/0 Gamakatsu hook, double barbs. Again, I prefer to do this so I don't make any mistakes. You can probably see the black spot I made. That will enlarge because these do bleed, but it has no effect on the performance. Alright, we'll put this in the center. We have it rigged on a 1/4 ounce darter head. Last fall, we were fishing in a lake with a lot of lily pads. As the water gets cooler, the lily pads start to disappear. Being the only structure in this particular lake, the bass gravitated towards the pad beds. Well, they're very difficult to fish when the pads are in full bloom. But now in mid-October, they're starting to disintegrate, if you will, and they're loaded with bass. We were very successful with 1/16 ounce and 3/32 ounce flutterheads fished in the pads. These lightweight heads almost give the swim bait a completely horizontal fall in the pads, and it's a slow fall, which is advantageous when that water is 51, 52 degrees, because bass move slower. Very effective using these two heads. We'll rig one again. As you can see, the nose here is not excessively wide. I'll cut a little bit off, which will facilitate easier rigging. That's all I cut off of that. 1/16 ounce. We'll center it. A little pressure. Turn the swim bait towards me as it threads onto the Hitchhiker Coil Keeper. Show you what I'm doing here. There we have it. Not quite dead center. There we go. And this is the 3/32 ounce. This is a very popular river dace. And this is the new alewife shad. Very popular last year for largemouth with the horizontal stripe on them. Alright, this is the new swim bait in town. This is a solid body swim bait. This was originally designed for use on the River Rascal spinnerbait. This 1/4 ounce spinnerbait has a coil keeper. Now again, I like to mark the top of the swim baits with a magic marker because hook sizes can vary in these. All you have to do is touch it. In the center of the soft bait. Oh, back too far. There we go. Squeeze the swim bait a little bit up over the keeper. There we have it. The little spot works every time. Now there's a couple other ways to rig these solid body 3.25 inch swim baits. The darter head, 1/8 ounce. Oops. I do this quite often, but I find that this magic marker spot works for me. Because hook sizes vary. Those double barbs really hold these swim baits in position, especially if you miss a strike, it doesn't slide down. Cast back out and get into the action again. And third, a flutter head. Howie and I used these last fall in the Susquehanna River with great success. Now you need to have a 2/0 hook in the flutter head to rig these text posts. These have a very wide head on them. No need to cut them with the razor blade. Thread this on. And here's where it gets a little tricky. You see where this hook wants to go into the swim bait. Fortunately, there's a little brown fleck of dirt there, and I'm going right through there. Ouch. Very productive and reduced snag way to fish a swim bait in the river. Sometimes bass don't want all this hardware and flash, they just want the basic swim bait. There's two options, so make sure you ask for a 2/0 flutter head when you rig this. Last but not least is our 3-inch River Darter swim baits. These are solid bodies. I have a 1/16 and an 1/8 ounce darter head with double barbs, and 1/16 and 1/8 ounce football heads with a wire guard on these. These are very effective thrown in trees for crappies. The general rule of thumb is to bring the soft bait around the bend of the hook and then bring it out. But that does not apply to all hook sizes in every case. Okay, here we go. Perfectly rigged, dead center. Last fall, my brother and I were successful with crappies with this. We cut about a 1/2 inch off of the head. Since it's a solid body, it makes no difference. Very effective in the trees with the crappies. Now these are the darter heads. Let me see if I get this straight doing it the other way. Alright. We'll put it in there. We'll go around the hook completely. Bring it out in the center. There it is. And here's an 1/8 ounce head. A tip I like to pass on that we have used and been very successful. When we fish these, we hold our rod parallel to the water, and whether it's spinning or bait casting, we make 1 to 2 slow revolutions of the reel and then stop. the swim bait will swim back down towards the bottom. Most hits occur on the drop. In fact, all of them occur on the drop. They're very light taps. 4, 5 pound largemouth and smallmouth, one little tap. When you get that da-da-da-da-da or a machine gun type hit, that's usually a white perch or a yellow perch. Ignore it. You're not missing bass. Very few bass will hit more than once. One light tap and set the hook. Check your hook points. Keep them sharp when you're fishing in round rocks. Check them on the back of your fingernail. It doesn't slide. That hook is sharp. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.